all praises, all praises to the heavenly creator of eternity and infinity, the universe, the earth, the stars, the seas, the oceans, the mountains, humanity, and all there is. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit, coming back once again as a humble servant of the holy power with the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure to sit before my brothers and sisters of the 12 tribes of the house of Israel scattered abroad all over the globe. Hello to you all. Greetings to you all. Blessings of peace and safety and endurance and perseverance to you all. This is the Sabbath Wisdom Series, Week 3, and it is wonderful. It is fantastic. It is comforting. It is enlightening. It is soothing. It is wonderful that we are here together. It is fantastic that we are going to sit still, be quiet, open our ears, and learn. We are going to be enlightened by the wisdoms of the Holy Power Creator as disseminated by our brother King Solomon. And we are going to be soothed with this understanding as we walk in our carnal flesh about the earth to and fro. And so, as always, these presentations and messages go out to the primary audience of the brothers and the sisters, the people I call pending Israelites, or the members of the byword, members of the world, the carnal world. Of course, they are the colored, the people of color, Black and Negro, and melanated, Moors, sovereigns, and indigenous, Aboriginals and natives, niggas, African Americans, those who are conquered and colonized. We are here to sit before the Lord and be together and love each other and hold hands and feel warmth with the glow of the heat of the word of the Holy Power Creator. So we are starting with our primary and standard guidelines of understanding the Holy Power and His Word. And we began in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. All right, that's our primary pillar in the rules and guidelines and understanding the Holy Creator, power of all. And then our earthly standing pillar as a witness to that. We are now in the book of Hebrews at verse 8, and we're getting it from our holy Messiah, whom the world refers to as Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. That was verse 8. That was the Messiah, whom the world refers to as Jesus Christ. The same yesterday and today and forever. So those are the rules of the Holy Power Creator and his Word made flesh. So we are beginning tonight's series once again in the book of 2 Chronicles. And this evening we are starting in chapter 9, verse 1. This is where we were getting the sips of Solomon's displayed wisdom and all that the people that were round about, the other kings of other nations, how they would come and petition before him for his wisdom. So we were going to visit that and see. We'll get another example. And this time we're starting with chapter 9, verse 1. And we're going to see another head of nation come to King Solomon to witness, view, petition, hear the wisdom as given to him by the Holy Power Creator. 2 Chronicles, chapter 9, verse 1. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon, she came to prove Solomon with hard questions at Jerusalem, with a very great company, and camels that bear spices and gold in abundance, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions, and there was nothing hid from Solomon which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen the wisdom of Solomon, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers and their apparel, his cupbearers also and their apparel, and his ascent by which he went up into the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, it was true, a great report, which I heard in mine own land of thine acts and of thy wisdom. Verse 5. And she said to the king, it was a true report, which I heard in mine own land of thine acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not their words until I came, and my eyes had seen it. And behold, the one half of the greatness of your wisdom was not told me, for you exceedeth the fame that I heard. Happy are your men, and happy are these your servants, which stand continually before you, and hear your wisdom. Blessed be the Lord your God, which delighteth in you to set you on his throne, to be king for the Lord your God, because your God loved Israel to establish them forever. Therefore made he you the king over them, to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices great abundance, and precious stones, Neither was there any such spice as the queen of Sheba gave King Solomon. And the servants also of Humram, and the servants of Solomon, which brought gold from Ophir, brought algum trees and precious stones. And the king made of the algum trees terraces to the house of the Lord, and to the king's palace, and harps and psalteries for singers. And there was none such seen before in the land of Judah. Verse 12. And King Solomon gave the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, besides that which she had brought unto the king. So she turned and went away to her own land, she and her servants. Ooh, that was a wonderful exchange between two heads of state, one a king of Israel, the other the queen of Sheba. So family, y'all got to go look up where Sheba is, what it is today, so we can start plugging ourselves into some global locations in a secular present timeline. So we are now starting tonight's wisdoms in the Song of Solomon, which is a song. So again, you have to embark into your cranial universe and close your eyes and put the needle on that favorite melody and tune in your memory and start it up and listen to the lyrics Brother Prophet King Solomon is about to put on your frequency. Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I will rise now and go about the city in the streets, and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw you him whom my soul loveth? It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that conceived me. I charge you, O you daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, that you stir not up, nor awake my love, till he please. Who is this that cometh out of the wilderness like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all powders of the merchant? Behold his bed, which is Solomon's. 80 valiant men are about it, of the valiant of Israel. They hold swords, being expert in war. Every man hath his sword upon his thigh because of fear in the night. Verse 9. King Solomon made himself a chariot of wood of Lebanon. He made the pillars thereof silver, the bottom thereof gold, the covering of it of purple, the midst thereof paved with love for the daughters of Jerusalem. Go forth, O you daughters of Zion, and behold King Solomon with the crown wherewith his mother crowned him in the day of his espousals and in the day of the gladness of his heart. All right, y'all. I tell you, I will continue to petition and implore that you pick up your books. And if you are a parent, sit your children down and read to them. You will feel invigorated with the word of the Lord running through you, speaking through you. You will be doing good, standing and reading the word of the Lord in the midst and attentions of your children, men, fathers, uncles, cousins, brothers. Please do this. All right, y'all. We are keeping it moving, keeping it going, keeping it rolling, gliding, sliding, riding. And we roll right over to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. And we are now going to continue in the wisdoms. We have learned about vanity in the wisdoms. We have learned about unrighteous men and ungodly men and righteous men and wisdom and the rules of wisdom. So, as the series continues to expand, go to the channel, select the playlist, hit play all, put on your headphones, your Bluetooth. If you get a chance at some point in the week or the day, go to a solitary corner and let the series run into you. And it will continue to purge the skin wicked lust and fortify you in your spiritual ordination, your spiritual ordination to perform in righteousness. And that is that. All right. So, book of Ecclesiastes, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Verse 6. A time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that works and that where he labors? I have seen the travail which God has given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time, and he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God makes from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and do good in his life. And also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. Verse 14. I know that whatsoever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God does it that men should fear before him. That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been. And God requires that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Verse 17. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them. As the one dies, so dies the other. Yeah, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. Verse 20. All go unto one place. All are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. For who shall bring him to set? What shall be after him? Verse 22. Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? All praises. All praises. That wisdom jumps out, that spirit consumes you, and you just stir and you rattle and your eyes close, and it's reverberating and ringing inside of you. within your cranial universe, those stars are just blasting and popping and creating supernovas and quasars and black holes and sucking in all that old mess and schools of thought and ideology and ways of the world and religion. And these wisdoms are stabbing at all of that confusion, that which is called Babylon. And family, that is the wrapping up of the first part of the Sabbath Wisdom series, part 3. And of course, it has been my pleasure, always my privilege and honor. And Lord willing, I will be able to come back and we can all be blessed before the Lord as we read, hear, examine, and do His word. So, as we bow our heads humbly wherever we are, and we be still and we become humble, we submit our daily petition for the opportunity to have another day of the gift and breath of life, so we may continue to define and refine our walk on the path of righteousness, which is the example of the Holy Messiah, whom the world refers to as Jesus Christ, who is the living Word made flesh of the holy power, creator of eternity, infinity, and the universe. He is the Word of the power written on stone with his finger and given to Brother Prophet Moses to present to the congregation church of the nation of Israel, where we are to observe and do all of the laws of the Holy Covenant, so that we may be deemed worthy to enter into the kingdom of heaven on earth. As it is written, thus saith the Lord, let it be done, so be it. I love you all, 12 tribes of Jacob, the house of Israel, scattered abroad all across the globe. Until we return together again, I love you. I love you. Have peace, persevere, stay strong, endure. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit.